Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out my broadcast today. Today is day 139 of my 3-year challenge to get my health and wellness under control. My name is Jonathan. Again, like I said, I want to thank you for checking out the broadcast. If you're new to the broadcast, a little bit about me is I am 38 years old. I have a wife and 4 kids. Late last year, I was really in a position where my weight was just getting out of control. So starting on in November, I started to do this live stream project here. Carrie's checking in. Thanks, Carrie. And so in November, I started this challenge, and the big goal for me was to stick with something or to pay, to keep at this for 3 years. I've had lots of weight loss success in the past. I've been able to stick to diets and lose large amounts of weight in the past. But when I get to my goal weight, inevitably I find myself going back to my old ways and then getting bigger than I, was previous to the last weight loss before I decide to take control and do something. So this time, my big goal has been to focus on this for the time, not just the weight. The weight is also very important. Like I said, I started at 519.8 pounds. Over the past 4.5 months, I've had incredible success. I've been able to lose over 160 pounds. It has been great to lose the weight. I and just finding that finding what works for me to lose the weight, and for me, what helps or what works for me as far as a diet goes is a whole food plant-based diet, and we do not add any additional salt, oil, or sugar to any of the meals that we make. We only get those from the foods themselves when we can control it. we like I said, it's been an interesting 4.5, 5 months, but it is really nice to be down over halfway through my goal this quick as far as my weight loss goal. I still am, I guess not even, what does it end up being? A ninth of the way. I'm a ninth of the way through the challenge as far as the time goes. So for me, that's what I'm really looking forward to, is when I do get down to the goal weight or get closer to that goal weight. Because I've never set a goal so, I guess, lofty before, or so normal. Like, all my goal weight usually is about 275, 285. That was what I was in high school. That's been my goal weight every time I've tried to lose weight in the past. I've reached it 285 at least once. A lot of times when I hit that 300 mark is when things start to fall apart for me. So I'm looking forward to hitting those marks and then continuing on with this diet, because I'm feeling and I feel as if this diet is going to be sustainable for me for the long run. If you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to the page. If you turn on the notifications below, that is awesome as well. I really would love to get the subscribers up. I've talked about it in the past here, but with the number of subscribers that I have now, I'm kind of limited to doing my live streams here where I have good internet. And if I can get my subscriber up high enough, I can start doing it from a mobile device, which would allow me a little bit more flexibility and maybe allow me to check in at other times, or not just do the 4 p.m. streams. So if you haven't subscribed, I'd really love it if you do subscribe. I also have an Instagram account. It is at Fasting. That's FAHSTING. I usually post food pictures there, sometimes a scale pick and some other, things that are going on with me on that. I'd love for you to follow me there. And then we also have a Discord as well. The Discord link should be down below. If you just click that link, it should be active for the next week. If you're watching this more than a week down the line, try to find a newer video that has the link, or send me a message or make a comment, and I can get you the link to the Discord. We're always looking for people to join the community. Let us know how they're doing with their diet, and share their successes and their struggles. And that's a lot of what this is for me, is a chance for me to share how my diet's going and kind of keep a daily record of what's going on with my diet. If anybody has any non-scale victories they'd like to share, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories. If you do have any scale victories or any questions about diet, or the diet that me and Carrie follow, our whole food plant-based diet, feel free to ask them, and I'd love to share information about that. For me, a non-scale victory that it's been something that's been going on for a while. I don't know if I've talked about it or not on here. I don't think I have. But the non-scale victory for me is going to be the showers, the bathing. It was something for a long time. I was waiting for it to happen, and then it kind of happened. But our shower that we use is not a very big shower. It is probably as small of a single person shower that you can buy. As far as where it's fit, our house is a very, it's an older house as well. So when I shower, one of the things that happens 100% of the time is that I knock stuff off of the shelf onto the floor. And I know while I was fasting, I was paying a lot more attention to like how close I was getting to that point where I didn't knock stuff off the shelf with my hips and my butt and my elbows, and just turning around, just trying to get my, because like I said, it's not a very big shower. It's a lot of spinning around, there's not a lot of movement. And so I'm knocking stuff over. And the worst is when I knock stuff over and then it lands on my toes, because it's usually the heaviest bottle on the shelf, and it lands right on my toe. Um, but so for a while now, I've not had that issue as far as knocking the stuff off of the shower, and so that was a non-skill victory. I know I haven't mentioned, but it was kind of one of those things where it's like, wow, it's been happening for a while. But what yesterday when I was taking the shower last night, just the ability I have to clean myself uh, is amazing versus what I was doing before. Not only in that I have more, I'm able to move around within the shower more or bend over more if I wanted to because I don't have the added weight, but also physically, I can bend over and soap the back of my ankle without any issues now. Whereas before it was, I could bathe well enough and I don't feel like I was ever that stinky, but it was mostly focusing on the points on my body that are have the potential to create, zits or smells or rashes or like in the folds, focusing on the folds that I could reach, but maybe the middle of my back doesn't get didn't get soap on it, or getting my feet wasn't something that happened because the soap just runs down over it anyways, so what's the difference if I can't reach down and clean between my toes. uh but yeah, just the ability to keep myself cleaner has been an incredible non-skill victory that I haven't really talked about, I suppose. And the uh, I also like, and kind of I was thinking about it because that Wim Hof book I read is about the cold therapy, and what they talk about with going into the cold therapy is or learning that is to take the end of your shower to take a cold shower, and I can't do that. And a big thing I think is that I enjoy taking showers at night versus taking them in the morning. I know a lot of people wake up to a shower, it gets there going. I just prefer to go to bed clean, I guess, and then whatever, however dirty I get from sleeping or whatever, then I guess I'd have that during the next day. But so it's tough to convince myself to take a cold shower uh, at 9 o'clock at night because if it was the first thing I did in the day and I was getting myself ready to go, and if you followed me on the Wim Hof or any of that the book while I was reading that, that's kind of where I'm at with that. I really haven't gotten into it. I'm kind of hoping to get my swimming pool. We have like an above ground, like a 9 foot by 15 foot above ground. It's real tiny. That I'm hoping to maybe get into that here in a month or a little earlier than we normally would. And that's also going to be a huge victory for me, is being able to get in and out of that swimming pool, because the pool, it's like got the 4 foot sides or whatever, and it's got a big plastic ladder that I swam quite a bit last year, or as much as I could, and uh, every time I did, I was worried that I was going to break that ladder because I'm sure it looked like it was struggling every time I got in and out of the pool. So getting in and out of the pool, that's something I'm looking forward to that coming up in the future. Um, so that's kind of my non-scale victory for the day. I don't have a whole lot else. You know, I we have a decent amount of yard, and I've been out cleaning up with that. That's another big victory for me. Just working on that, and then work itself. I've been a lot more productive. Um, uh, I've been a lot more productive at work over the past week, I think, than I have before. And I have, it's weird because coming out of the second extended fast I did that fast for 10 days, and I went back to the whole food plant based diet, and I've been eating whole food plant based again. I think it's been 17 or I guess 18 days since we ended that fast. Yeah, I guess no, I ended. No, it's more than that. It's like 20. I ended the fast on a Friday. Yeah, it's okay. 3 weeks today, 21 days. So, um, ending that fast, uh, I was pretty disappointed with things. Like I ended the fast and I refed. I was really excited that Wednesday after because I didn't really gain any weight back. I was right at about the weight that I ended the fast at. And then that following week, I didn't lose any weight. In fact, I think I gained 0.4 of a pound between the third and the 10th day of the after of the refeeding of the second fast there. And I've been pretty bummed about that. And Tara's checking in. I hope everyone's doing well, plus the dog. She's been on my mind. It's a boy. Guinness is a boy, but yeah, he's been doing um really well. He's responded well to the medication, and I actually have an appointment for him to go to see his vet again next Wednesday. Maybe it's already next Wednesday. Yeah. Um, so what Sarah said, bathing is an underrated as an indicator of progress. It's one of those activities that can be a hazard with carrying and shifting extra weight. Yeah, absolutely. And um, it's something where, and it's a weird thing because I've been fairly fortunate, for me and how my bathing goes, or how like flexibility and the ability to keep myself clean. That television show that they have, the 600-pound life. Um, one of the points they make, I think, in each of the episodes is to show the difficulty in self cleaning that those people have, and yeah, I can imagine that uh, uh, that's really difficult, and then yeah, I mean, at my weight, I mean, even it wasn't in the shower, but I fell, the, I fell a couple months ago and I like caught myself and I was shocked at how I didn't feel the brunt of the fall. Like normally I would have had to have kind of catch myself and then I would have had a bruise and I would have been sore, and I was able to kind of catch myself. I still hit the ground, but I didn't hit it as hard as I may have in the past. And so, yeah, I could see that, relating that to the shower thing. Jen says a friend of hers is a producer on the show 600-Pound Life. Yeah. Um, I, uh, yeah, I mean, that show's crazy. I mean, and it's when I watch that show, or when I haven't watched it much. I've seen clips of it, I guess, more so than anything, like on YouTube. I don't know that I've actually sat down and watched many like full episodes or followed. I don't know. I think that's just a new person each episode. But the yeah, I just hope those people find the help they need. But I really, for me, like the idea of doing the bariatric surgery is really tough. Like it's been something that I probably could have qualified to get that surgery at any point over the past few years. Um, and then the um, shoot, what was I gonna say? Oh, the bariatric. Yeah, I could have probably qualified for that. I have family members that have done it, or relatives that have done it, and friends that have done it, and I really, it's so tough. Like I have a hard time with the surgical intervention of it, and the like having the surgery doesn't fix the mental aspect of it. I mean, I know a few people that had the surgery and it didn't help them really in the end. A lot of times they lose weight, and then and so I feel like that if you know and I don't have the whole thing thought out, but I really feel like if people are willing to go through the effort of having that surgery, then they should be willing to try something as extreme as the diet me and Carrie are doing. I guess that's kind of what, like, to me, this diet, I guess, would be a last ditch effort. Like, if this diet didn't work at keeping my weight down or getting me where I wanted to be, then um that, bariatric would be the next step, I guess, is where I'm at with it. Like, to me, it was like, doing this whole food plant-based diet is not that extreme. There's a lot of people that do whole food plant-based, but to eat without any added salt, oil, or sugar, um, that is fairly extreme. It's very hard. It's hard to wrap your mind around. Um, but now where I'm at, I feel great, and that was kind of something I think I was going to talk about. I got interrupted with this. Is the um, after my second fast, and I just felt so uh, disheartened by everything, and then uh, it wasn't until 17 days later, or the weigh-in I just did on Wednesday, where I was down 3 or 4 pounds, that that I started to lose weight. But in hindsight, I got to look at it. So the course of the fast until now, which is probably a month, it was the 17th. It was like the 17th. That time period, I lost 24 pounds. I got to be extremely happy. 24 pounds in 30 days is awesome. And so when I look at that 7-day period and I gain 0.4, that sucks. I look at 30 days, I lose 24 pounds. That's a lot better. And with all of that, how awful I felt and everything about where I was and my mentality in it, now that I'm another week out, I am really excited about it. I feel like I'm more happy about that second fast than I thought I was going to be, because I feel like if there was any residual whatever in my body, I fasted for 42 days. I don't know that there was anything left in there. But when I refed, I ate for 2 months and then I fasted again for 10 days. If there were any residual bad stuff in my body, I got to imagine that helped kind of flush it out. And when I think about my diet now, I feel like mentally I'm in a much better place with it in every aspect. Like the today has been a day that has not gone as planned. And I got out the door late. We had stuff going on at the house. It was, the only fault of it was my fault that I didn't have more grab and go, or I didn't grab more stuff to eat. But I have eaten an apple today and like 2 spoonfuls of peanut butter. And that's been like my entire diet that I've had today. And it's frustrating from a mental standpoint, because I know I need to eat more and that I would perform better if I was eating. From a physical standpoint, I'm not worried about it at all. And and I don't know a month ago where I would have been, like if I wouldn't have done this second fast. But like we had that real stressful weekend here where food wasn't around. I just survived and got through it. I've eaten fine for the week here, and then today I got into a position where I messed up with it, but it's not a problem. And it makes me think of there was, like, I have a friend of mine, I guess, or acquaintance that I see, and we do a thing together every year that me and him kind of run different groups. And when I talk to some of the other members of his group, where they talk about him, he's a great guy, or his family, actually, it's his family that I talk to. And they talk about they're like, oh, I'm so worried about him because he just hasn't eaten this week. And because he gets stressed out, and he doesn't eat when he gets stressed out. For me, I'm the opposite. I eat all the time when I'm stressed out. I eat for any reason. And so it's interesting to maybe like I'm switching more. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm gonna never, in stressful situations, I'm not gonna eat or I'm gonna start, stress is gonna get in the way of me eating. But I can see where he kind of comes from now. Whereas to me, that was just a weird foreign thought of not eating, and stress being why, um, a reason to not eat. Uh, but but I'm I feel like uh I'm doing better actually with the stress and not eating than if I had the stress and I was trying to fit in the food. There's a couple comments here I'm going to read through. Um so all right. If you can hold out patience, looks like you won't need that surgery at all. Yeah. Um Yeah, no, absolutely. That's so yeah, she just made a comment that if I can hold out with the patience and you know uh keep doing what I'm doing, I'm not gonna have to have that surgery. And that is something that I am really, yeah, like it was something where my last choice would be to have that surgery. That would be my last choice. Like it would be something where um like yeah, a doctor tells me I have a week to live, or like a catastrophic kind of thing like that. Um, and I feel like I'm really out of the woods of that happening right now, and it wouldn't having that surgery wouldn't be what would fix any problem that I have now. I don't know if a 6 foot tall, 350 pound man qualifies for a bariatric surgery or not, especially now with them doing cosmetic surgeries. But I'm trying to read your question before. What difference do you find with refeeding or changing to a different style, and long at what happens afterwards? Yeah, I mean, just I don't I feel like I'm really trying to pay attention to those things here. And that's something where it's tough too, because and it's part of the reason why I'm trying to do these videos, a lot of videos a week or multiple videos a week, is because if I don't say how I'm feeling right now or how I felt today to you today, and you ask me next Wednesday how I felt last Friday, I could say, yeah, I think I felt pretty good. Um, but you could just go back to last Friday and find out how you know what I mean? So that's like, because hindsight gives you different perspective on things. You see things with different glasses, or it changes things versus when you're in the moment or you're in it. Uh, like I can speak to how I felt during the fast, but there might have been days that were tougher or easier than others that just a general overview doesn't give. But um so yeah, I haven't noticed anything with specific foods, but I noticed that the this diet is, and it's weird, maybe it's a cliche every time I hear people say um when they eat whole food, plant based, or get rid of meat, or eat kind of closer to a vegan esque diet. Um, a lot of people say that there's a fog lifted, or they have a mental clarity, and I'm right there with it. I believe, I'm saying that I feel as if I'm talking different, I'm acting different, I'm feeling different. Uh, And the only way, I guess, like I said, you could go back, or I could go back and watch my videos from 4 months ago to see how I was feeling, acting, talking. Um, but the yeah, and just the thought of eating dirty is, I guess, dirty is bad. I mean, it's like, I guess it would. it's something Carrie's talked about a couple times that it's hard to vocalize, maybe, or not. I mean, it's not even that difficult a thing, but like, there's no cheat meal, there's no cheat day, there's no cheat moment, there's no I can grab that and eat it and I'll be fine. Uh, I don't even allow it into the thought process. And that is something that is different than other diets. Like other diets, I'd be like, I only ate 600 calories for the last 2 weeks. If I want to have a little bit more, it might not be a big deal. Or if I want to do something off diet, it might not be a big deal. The With this diet, I just find that I have no desire to mess it up. My biggest fear is that I mess it up on accident, or I have something that is, in like, if it happens on accident, I just got to accept it. I'm going to live with, like, it's not, but I don't foresee me on purpose saying I'm gonna screw up this diet, or I'm gonna do something, and I don't find any temptation in it. It's something that it's, yeah, like Carrie said, it's easier to go cold turkey than to attempt to eat those foods in moderation. It's easier for me to abstain than it is for me to participate in moderation. If I just, yeah, and that's for me the way it works. And there's yeah. And I I don't know. It's one of those things where it's so tough to, like, I can say it till I'm blue in the face. But people aren't going to listen. It's like when you, yeah. I mean, what does Tara say? No cheats. That's good thinking and good practice. That means low anxiety, and not enough people think about how important that is in the long run. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I like that, the low anxiety. Yeah. Um, and I talked about it a lot with the fasting, and when you switch to these diets, is removing the temptation. Not, I mean, because if you have that temptation there, then you have to argue with yourself about not succumbing to it. Whereas if the temptation was there, you don't even have to have that argument. Like, you have to have an argument with yourself that would be, now I have to go and purchase this item and then eat it. Whereas if it's, then you could say, well, if I'm going to go purchase that item, why don't I go purchase carrots and hummus? Why don't I go purchase spinach and kale and salad? But when it's in your cupboard and it's like, I can just whip it up real quick, or just grab it out of my cupboard. You got a bag of Doritos in your cupboard or whatever. That's so tough to fight, and we had to fight through it. We still fight through it with having kids in the house. Our kids' snack foods have drastically changed, though. They do not eat the snack foods they used to eat. I mean, the school lunch thing kind of changed some of it, because the school provides lunches, whereas we were providing our kids lunches. But I have not had a purchase of a Little Debbie or a Swiss cake or Cinnabon package come through my house in months, as far as I can tell. We've had other kind of junk foods, I guess, come in, but usually it's like a Nutri-Grain bar or something like that. Whereas we used to have all kinds of stuff that was awful for the kids, that that would be triggers for people, and it was, it wasn't, for me, it's easy because I don't have to deal with the food near as much as Carrie has to deal with, because while I was fasting, she was still eating, she was still preparing food for the kids herself. Whereas if I prepared food for the kids, it's kind of a novelty, I guess, at that time, or now even. But so having those temptations, like I said, I don't even try, like the Yeah, improving the snack food for the family is a non-skill victory. Yeah, I mean it's tough for me to, because I have no temptations, no desires. It's something where I guess it's the I'll talk about it because it's I talk about not having temptations around. And it's something where you'd have to have followed me for a long time or watched my fasting streams. But one of the things that uh, I did is I accidentally had stashed a candy bar in like the sunglass spot of my van like 4 days before I started the fast. Like I had bought the candy bar. I was like, oh, I'll eat it on my way into work tomorrow or something. And I just threw it in that spot. And then I was fast. I don't know. I might have been 5 or 6 days into the fast. And I went to go see if I had glasses or something in that thing, and I hit the button, and the candy bar fell on my lap. And I had to laugh at myself because like I was inadvertently sabotaging myself at the time. And so yeah, I had that candy bar just came out of nowhere, and I was fasting at the time, like I said, and while I was fasting, I was pretty good at not. I mean, I wasn't gonna eat a candy bar at the time. Um, but what ended up happening is I hadn't really thought about it for a while, and then recently, I was digging through some things, and it's funny because that candy bar has been next to me this entire time. Like every broadcast I've ever done, I've had that candy bar within reach of me. Like it's right here. Like I just kind of have it. It's right here. I have a Snickers bar. But if I ever need a Snickers, it's a crunchy peanut butter Snickers. Um and I keep that, I guess, as kind of a reminder of how much of a dickhead I used to be and how I tried to sabotage myself. Uh I'm not really a dickhead. But I definitely um it's one of those things where like it's weird that the thought that I had a candy bar that I bought 5 months ago that I haven't eaten, and I have no intention of ever eating. I mean, but it's just something that is has been there, and it's not something I don't get into that drawer. I don't dig around in that particular spot that much, so it's not even reminded me. Um, Tara says, "Wow, that candy bar needs a name and a periodic update on the stream." That's kind of why I busted it out right now. I at the time I had it, and then I haven't really got it out since then, and so yeah, maybe every so often I'll bust it out to show that I haven't eaten the candy bar. Problem is that I can't give it away to somebody. And maybe there's somebody I don't like one day, and I'm like, "Hey, I got a candy bar for you." They're not gonna know it's. Oh, maybe they will. Does it say when it expires? Do I have to worry about it? Let's see. Oh no, it expires in March of 2021. I only have 11 days. What am I gonna do? I don't know if you can see that if I put it way up there. I don't think it'll come up in the camera. It don't matter. So it's about to expire. We'll have to see if it goes bad. So, but yeah, so it's tough. I talk about, removing temptation, but then I had that next to me this whole time and I haven't been tempted by it but it's different when you're abstaining like I did versus having it like, and then the accountability. I mean, this whole thing is the accountability has been a huge part of it to me. I mean, the idea of not getting on here and saying something or, having to come on here and admit to screwing up would not be the best. But anyways, I went a little long again today here as well. We will be back on Monday. I don't have anything that I can think of that gets in the way from me streaming next week, but I'll definitely stream Wednesday. I'm planning on streaming every day, I guess, at this point. But I'll be back Monday at 4 p.m. I want to thank you guys for checking out the stream today. If like I said earlier, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit the thing down below, hit the notification so you can see when I go live. My goal, I really want to get up to that 1,000 subscriber mark so I can start doing streams from my mobile device and have a little bit better be able to do it from my mobile device so I could maybe do walks or something and talk to people while I'm doing something other than just sitting in my office. I don't know, that sounded office. I think I said that really weird. So yeah, make sure you subscribe. The Instagram is at Fasting, FAHSTING. The Discord down below. We'd love to have people join the Discord, share how, what they do for their diet, or what's working for them, or if they're looking for help. We'd love to see you there. Terry saying get it vacuum sealed. You can have the landfill ceremony when I reach my goal weight. I don't know. Landfill. It'd be shame to waste such a nice candy bar. I suppose what helps is it's not a candy bar I would normally eat. Like, I don't know why I picked that particular candy bar that particular day. So, but again, thank you guys for checking out the stream. You guys all have a great weekend. If you're having any struggles, get on the Discord, talk to us. But I'm looking forward to getting home and actually getting some food in me tonight. And maybe I'll do some posting on Instagram if I get a chance this weekend. But plan on doing a lot of yard work. That's going to be my non-scale victory Monday, is all of the work I got done around the house and all the work Carrie got done around the house. All right. You guys all have a great weekend. I'm going to get out of here.